All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of the Three Rivers University Raiders here on Localized Content on YouTube, Localized_content on Twitch. Today is the beginning of Season 2. New recruits, new teams, no new teams, but new recruits on to teams. So, therefore, new teams, new leaders, new front runners, and personally, for the Raiders, a whole new starting lineup. That's right, Chris Jones, Jaden Long, Ryan McCullough, Evan Young, and Tyus Williamson all either graduated or left early for the NBA or other professional routes. That means we got a brand new starting lineup, brand new roster as a whole. Aside from, the returning players, they're going to have to fill roles that those five held at the beginning or for the entirety of last year. So let's get into our team. Right now, you're going to see some familiar faces. You're going to see some new faces. But I'll explain all those as we get there. Starting with our centers, of course, Corey Long. He'll be a sophomore this year, and he's expected to take over team leader role. 78 overall sophomore. And then Jared Bauer, he's going to get minutes again this year. He played in how many games last year? He actually played in 34 games last year, but of course, towards the end of the year, he lost a lot of time that he had previously been getting. And then new freshman, 7'2" center, number 50, Darren Moss. 69 overall, so not really going to get too much time this year, but he could in the future. 7'2", 320 pounds. He's a big guy. Got to get him to lose some weight before he really makes much of an impact back and forth down the floor. But he is pretty solid for an incoming freshman. Let's take a look at our power forwards now. Of course, Dion Waters is going to start. He's a senior this year. He's 76 overall. Played all 35 games last year, I believe. Yep, he even had 3 starts at the end of the year. So he's really going to have to take over that role for Jaden Long defensively and getting a couple buckets, of course, because Chris Jones scored 30 a game. Ryan McCullough averaged 15 a game. That's 45 points right there that need replaced, let alone what Williamson, Young, and Long put in the bucket. Next, we got 2 freshmen. First one, number 14, Amari Harris, is a 6'9", 209-pound defensive guy. He can score a little bit at all 3 levels, but he's pretty athletic, pretty talented. 73 overall to start his freshman year, and then 71 overall, Ben Wilson is 6'7", 212 pounds. He'll wear number 9. He's a pure athlete. Can't score outside at all. Not much of a scorer to begin with inside. But defensively, he's pretty solid. But as an athlete, he is the best we have probably on the entire team. Small forwards, JT Reese is going to get the start again this year. Of course, he started about half the games last year before Ryan McCullough was inserted at that 3 spot. He's going to have to step up from what he did last year. 5 points a game is pretty solid, but it's going to need to increase this season as the full-time starter. After that, we got David Black, who's a sophomore this year. Didn't get too much time last year as a true freshman. But this year, he's going to get a significant amount more. Maurice Rice is another returning guy. He's a senior this year. We'll see how much time he really gets at all. Shooting guards, D'Angelo Owens. Of course, he played a lot early in the year last year, but lost his spot because he couldn't hit a shot at all. He's more of a shooting guard than a point guard, and we had him playing a lot of point guard minutes. So this year, hopefully, he might be our leading scorer, him or Corey Long. We'll see. He's really talented. He's our highest overall. It's 79 overall as a junior. Can score at a high rate at all three levels, but we'll see if that really translates in the game. Dylan Park, he got some minutes last year. He really replaced D'Angelo Owens in the rotation later in the year. He'll get some minutes to start the year. He's a junior this year as well, 73 overall. But we'll see if those percentages don't really stay at a high level. Then we have freshman Andre Okafor, who's a little bit better of an outside scorer. 6'5", 226 pounds. He's a little bit better of a scorer overall. The defense is not quite as solid as Parks. Neither is the playmaking, but he is definitely more offensively talented. He is 72 overall as a freshman, and he'll wear number 30. At the point guard spot, Jonathan Levens Jr. is going to get the start. He is 74 overall going into his senior year. Of course, he got some minutes last year at that point guard spot, but never had much success, so we're going to need to see some improvement from him. And getting the backup minutes will be Robert Brown, who averaged 9 points a game last year in those last 3 games, but we'll see if that really translates into long-term success this season. Raul Rivers, that's our player lock guy. He's a 75 overall true freshman, number 23. He's not going to get any minutes to start the year. We're going to see how we do in the early runnings of games, but he definitely is comparable option if these guys do not live up to the expectation at the beginning of the season. So that's our roster, all 15 guys. We'll get to know them better as the season rolls on, but as you can see, you will see no 26-year-olds anymore. All the 26-year-olds got deleted. They're all in the free agency pool. At 40 overall, you might recognize some of these names. Like there's Chris Jones right there. There's Terrence Tucker right there. Of course, there's still some NBA guys, but overall, vast majority, it is a whole bunch of seniors and guys that left early last year, like Chris Jones and McCullough. Other teams to mention, J.D. Jackson, he went to Country Roads University Foresters. I don't know if I'm going to put out an off-season video or not. He's the number 1 recruit in the nation at 81 overall. He's on the Country Roads University Foresters. Just seeing if there's any other freshmen that are the best on their team. Eden Yao, 7'5" center. He's at the Idaho Farming University Stampede. He's another top recruit. Any other guys worth mentioning? None that are the best on their team. Those two immediately will come in, and they're expected to lead their teams to success this year, but there are a couple others like Pierre Wright there. Any others? Maybe Odell Wagner. He's another one. He might have been the number 2 recruit in the nation. I don't remember. Maybe I will put out that video talking about the top 10 recruits and where they signed. But other than them, the rest are between like 76 and mid-60s in overall. Like you can see here, this guy wasn't a top recruit, but he was probably in the 11 to 20 range. The top 10 recruits got highlighted in that video if I do release it. But see, here's like 76, and some of the ones at the bottom are mid-60s, mid to high 60s. That's about where most of the recruits are, of course, with the top ones. Like, see, here's another one at 76 overall. But the top ones, like Anthony McBride here, he's another example of a top 10 recruit. But that's how we got it going. That's probably all I'm going to do for this episode here. I will show you the rotation, so I don't have to do that in the next episode. Jonathan Levens Jr., D'Angelo Owens, JT Reese, Dion Waters, and Corey Long are getting the most minutes on the squad, but then off the bench we got David Black, Jared Bauer, Mari Harris, and Robert Brown, and then Dylan Park's going to get some minutes as well, with our freshmen Okafor, Wilson, Rivers, and Moss not getting any time. Reese Rice is also a senior who's not going to get any time either. But that is what we're going with for now. Thanks everybody for watching this episode of the Three Rivers University Raiders here on Localized Content on YouTube, localized_content on Twitch. If you missed season 1, go check that out. I encourage you to do so. That's the Ryan McCullough player lock season. This time we're a point guard. We'll see how many games we play. If we have success, we won't have to jump in, and maybe we'll have a small amount of games this season and really get into it in the next one. But we'll see. We'll see when that time gets here. Thanks everybody for watching, and goodbye.